Peace and blessings, everybody, and good morning. I am Asia Nasir, the founder and nonprofit strategist of my consulting firm, Utopian Enterprise Business Solutions, and author of my newly released book, Nonprofit Doesn't Mean No Profit. Welcome this morning on this Monday morning, new day, new week, resetting goals, establishing goals, all that good stuff. And it's no different here at Utopian Enterprise. If you have been following us for, the past few weeks, we started doing something, or I'm starting to do something very different, which is I'm just dropping some gems, some tips and strategies for my aspiring founders and existing founders of nonprofit organizations, just to help them go through, the journey of running a nonprofit in the most efficient way. So if you're wondering, what is it that I do? That's exactly what I do. I work with aspiring founders and existing founders of nonprofit organizations to help them, live their mission of their organizations in real time and help them to be able to be impactful, truly impactful in the communities that they're looking to serve. So this is one of the ways that I'm able to do that. For those that I don't have an immediate reach, this is still a way for me to be able to contribute and help other nonprofit founders such as myself. So this week we are going to be talking about another very important topic, something that if you ask any nonprofit founder, if you ask any, existing nonprofit founder, or even someone that's aspiring, one of their fears is always two things. When you ask them, what are you struggling with? What is your biggest struggle in running a nonprofit? And they'll tell you the same thing over and over. One is funding, trying to make sure that they stay afloat. They need sustainable, income. And then the other one is, trying to get their board of directors to be active, efficient, and, on board just as much as they are as the visionary and the founder of this organization. So today's discussion that we're going to have today is on creating a sustainable fundraising strategy for your nonprofit organization. And the operative word in that is sustainable. I think we see a lot of, nonprofit organizations, especially grassroots nonprofits, it's kind of like on a hamster wheel. They'll do some fundraising and then tapers off. We don't see any activity. Then they'll do another fundraiser, see one activity, but we don't see something that's just sustainable or expanding. So the operative word in today's discussion is creating a sustainable fundraising, strategy for your nonprofit organization. So the first thing that I'm going to start with, and I always give like tips, 5 tips to this, 5 strategies for this, and today's no different. So today I'm going to be giving you 5 strategies in order to be able to create a sustainable fundraising program for your organization. So the first one I want to start with is something that we hear all the time, especially as it relates to finances. We always hear that term or that cliche quote, don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? And why is that? Because if you put all your eggs in one basket, if that thing doesn't work, or if that thing falls apart as it relates to money and not diversifying your money, you could find yourself in a real jam. Versus if one is, slowing down and the other one's picking up, then you're afloat or you're rising. It's no different with a nonprofit. So the first tip to creating a sustainable fundraising strategy is to diversify your funds, diversify your fundraising strategy. So what do I mean by that? A lot of nonprofits, I can't tell you how many, a lot of nonprofits, even existing nonprofits that's been around for a while that are, really struggling, they're at that crossroad. They put all of their eggs in one basket. Their main goal is, I got to get grants. I got to get grants. I got to get grants. Once they get that 501c3, they think that's their ticket. That's what's going to sustain their programs. That's what's going to keep them afloat. And they have nothing to worry about now that they got that piece of paper that says they are a 501c3 tax exempt nonprofit. And that's not the case. And I've said this before, while the 501c3 tax exempt status provides you with, qualifications to apply for grants, it's not the only thing that you should be doing as a nonprofit to sustain your programs. Because here's the thing, There are thousands of nonprofit organizations that are vying for that same money that you are vying for. The same money that you're trying to get is the same money that other organizations in other states that are doing very similar work that you are doing is also looking to obtain that same funding. So your odds are going to be not as great because, with one grant application, you can be up against 500 applicants. I applied for one for a client and I was up against, and myself, 2,000 applicants applying for the same grant, right? So if that's your only plan in order to, sustain your programs, keep your programs going, or expand your organization, you're going to find yourself, really hitting some hard times, because the likelihood until you are able to get that grant and kind of get that formula of what it looks like, you're going to be running up against, especially grassroots and brand new nonprofits that don't really have the data to show how their organization is making a difference. You're going to find that you're probably going to get more declines than you are going to get approvals, especially in your first year. Right? So how do you sustain that? You diversify how you raise money. So grants should definitely be in the books. You should definitely have that as one of your plays in your playbook. However, you should have some other plays, and one of them being, have fundraisers. Your organization should have what's called a fundraising committee, that's going to be able to, create programs on an ongoing basis, fundraisers on an ongoing basis, whether it's quarterly, whether it's every other month, a gala, an annual event, a biannual event, something, Giving Tuesdays, things like that. Those are all fundraisers to be able to raise funds on a continuous basis outside of just your grant applications, but also, throughout the year, because your programs are going to be throughout the year. So you want to make sure that you have fundraisers that are supporting your organization throughout the years to be able to pay for things that you shouldn't be coming out of your pocket to pay. The other thing is looking for corporate sponsors. Corporate sponsors are great. Businesses that you patronize or your board of directors patronize or work for. That should be another strategy that you use to be able to sustain it, and building a partnership with those corporations so that way they can continue to give you money, and that way you sustain your programs when that grant money doesn't come in. You can still be able to provide, you can still be able to do things. Those fundraisers should be something that is on a consistent basis. It shouldn't be a hit or miss. So if you want to sustain if you want to create a strategic way in fundraising, you can't just think about grants. You have to be able to find other means in which you can make money and fundraise. So, and I just mentioned a few: Giving Tuesdays, fundraisers, several fundraisers that are out there, as well as corporate sponsorships. So that's tip number one: diversifying how you're looking to secure your funding. Number two, number two is when you do these fundraisers, what you also want to do, and I don't want to miss this, is you want to track how these fundraisers are going. If these fundraisers that you're doing are a big hit, you want to make sure that you're using that on a repetitive basis to be able to keep getting that, because people are saying, hey, that fundraiser was great. I love it. When are you going to do it again? Those are the fundraisers that you want to keep in your playbook. If you feel that there are fundraisers that was a total bust, what you need to do is you need to analyze it. You need to analyze, was there something that we missed? Did we not market enough? Did we not give it enough time? Was there something that we could have done differently as an organization, as the fundraising committee? Could we have done something different? If you notice that, no, we did everything was great, it just was not a good fundraiser, then you can toss that and say, look, let's not do that. Let's come up with another one. Right? So analyzing, so that way you're working smarter, not harder. Right? So that's tip number one. Strategy number two, to be able to create a sustainable fundraising strategy, is you got to develop a clear message of what it is that you do as a nonprofit. So just last week, we talked about creating a mission statement. Creating a clear mission statement, an effective mission statement that's really going to be like that power punch. It's no different than what I'm talking about right now. You want to be able to have a clear message as to what it is that you do, who it is that you help, right? And your brand, and that should be consistent. I know a few entrepreneurs that they're running more than one business, and one of the businesses that they run is a nonprofit organization. You can't distinguish the two. I don't know which one is their for profit and which one is their nonprofit. That should be distinguishable. That should be something that is marketed differently. That is something that should have its own unique brand. Your nonprofit should have its own unique brand. It should not be on the same page where it's coinciding and people are like, is this a for profit or nonprofit? You want to have a clear message that while I'm an entrepreneur, such as myself, I have my consulting firm, but I also have my nonprofit organization, Jessica Cares. I have two separate pages, two separate branding, two separate colors, everything that comes with a two separate, mission statement, vision statement. Everything is completely different. While it complements one another, you can tell the difference between what is the nonprofit and what is her consulting firm. That's how you should run your nonprofit, having a clear message. Because here's the thing, if you can't articulate who, what, and where and why you're doing what you're doing, it's going to be very difficult for your donors to be able to say, hey, I can get in where I fit in. This is something that resonates with me. This is an organization that I can stick my heels in, and this is something that I can really support on a monetary basis, or a corporation. They're not going to be able to say, is this something that aligns with our values as a company, as a corporate, our corporate culture? Does this nonprofit organization align with those values? You're not going to be able to make the connection if you can't articulate it. So you have to be very clear, and it has to be consistent. It can't be a hit and miss. Every now and then we talk about our mission. Every now and then we do this. It has to be crystal clear about what it is that you do, why you're doing this, who you're helping. So if it's young girls, being clear about your message and being able to say, what is the issue? What is the issue? So if you're in a state or you're in a county where there's food insecurity, I mean, we hear about food drives all the time, right? So if you just said, oh, we offer a food pantry or we feed the homeless or whatever, it's not going to resonate right away because there's so many. While we feel bad, right? It's not going to be like, why should I support your organization versus another organization doing the same thing? Well, what you do is you get the statistics, you get the how bad is it? What's happening here that people are not aware of, that if they were aware, they would do something about it. They would want to contribute. They would want to help. They would want to pitch in, right? You have to make that message crystal clear for people to be able to see why they should fund your nonprofit organization, your mission, and what it is that you're doing, so that way you can sustain yourself. Now, once you do that and you do get people that are saying, hey, we want to sit up here and support you, they make those donations, they even come out sometimes to support and things like that. What you want to do is you want to translate that one time, that one donation. You don't want it to stay as a one and done. You want to translate that donation to what's called recurring donations. So, for example, you go on Netflix, right? Netflix doesn't offer you to see all those movies and everything for free. There is a monthly subscription for you to be able to have that benefit. Same thing with Hulu. They have where you pay this every single month. It's like a subscription, a membership, so to speak, where you pay this every single month and you get this. These are the benefits that you get. It's the same thing. Translate that into nonprofit. These people already bought into you. They made a donation. So they value what it is that you're doing, because people put their money where their mouth is. If you really believe in something, that's what they're going to do. They're going to make sure that that money is going to be given to what they believe, what they cherish, what they value, what their belief systems are that they support. So you already got the buy-in. Now what you want to do is you want to translate that to them being able to say, hey, since you love what it is that we're doing, we're asking you to be a friend of our organization. Become a friend of of whatever the name of your nonprofit organization is. And by becoming a friend, you can, don't you have a recurring donation of whatever the amount is, like St. Jude's. St. Jude's have it where for $19 a month, you can do this, and that. That's less than $1 a month. Less than $1 a month. So you could even break it down that way to say, you spend for a cup of coffee way more than that on a daily basis. When you go to your Dunkin' Donuts, your Starbucks, and everything else, you pay way more than that. But with the recurring donations, you explain where that money is going, how that money, that monthly donation, what is it going to support? Here is where the impact statement is. So you articulated what your organization was all about, what the problem is with the recurring donation is, you're going to tell them how their donations is going to be the solution. You're going to make that connection. You're going to be able to show them where their donations, where their dollars is going to make a difference in the problem that you just brought to their attention. The awareness, the consciousness that you just brought to this issue in the community that they were not aware of. Now you're saying their money and their continuous money is what's going to sustain, if not expand, in making this situations better or eradicating it altogether. Right? So you want to create a recurring donation campaign. That's something that should be in your playbook for sure. So that way you have friends, because that recurring money is like guaranteed money every single month. That money can go towards hiring staff. That money can go towards sustaining your programs. That recurring, donation amount can support, feeding the hungry or providing, supplies to kids. Whatever your mission is, it can go towards that on a regular basis because you're getting that money on a regular basis. So strategy number 4 is, I just mentioned, creating a recurring donation campaign, right? One of the things that we have to do is we have to utilize what's available to us. And we have a tremendous tool now with social media. Nonprofits before, now I started my nonprofit 12 years ago. I'm not even sure Facebook was out then or if it was just coming out, but they didn't have, it was just connecting with friends and family from your high school, your family that lived away. They didn't have business, a business aspect to Facebook if it was even out in 2010. But nonetheless, it's out now. And now they have made it so easy for you to create those campaigns. If you are an aspiring nonprofit and you're like an aspiring founder of a nonprofit, and you're thinking, I'm not using social media, I'm not into social media, you're going to do a huge disservice to your nonprofit. And if you are an existing nonprofit and you don't have social media and online presence, as you can see, it's gonna really affect you. So here again, as I mentioned before, diversifying how you look for funding sources. This is a way to be able to do it. Where do you think Giving Tuesdays come from? Now they created something where nonprofit founders, such as myself, board of directors, are using their birthdays as a way to be able to say, look, don't give me flowers, don't give me gifts, donate to this organization that I care so much about. Right? These are ways in which you can do this. These are ways that you can tell your story. You can have testimonials. You can have, videos of the work that you're actually doing, the impact that you're actually making in the community that you're looking to serve. So that way people can see in real time, this is where my money is going. That speaks more than anything you can say, because people, you can tell me whatever, my eyes don't lie. I can see the people getting food. I can see the kids' grades, going up. I can see their report cards. I can see their parents giving a testimonial about how this program changed their child who was, getting into trouble, and now they're an A student, a B student. Now they're aspiring for, a profession versus before they didn't care about what was going on in their life, right? All of the different missions that are out there. Online presence is extremely important, and it's just not your website. People aren't going to websites like they were before. People are searching social media. And even grant funders are asking, what's your user handle for Twitter? What's your user handle for IG? What's your user handle for Facebook? They're asking this on applications. Why? Because they're looking to see what it is that you're doing in real time. Whatever you're saying on that application, can I see it on your page? Are you actually doing these things? So if you don't have an online presence, if you don't have a social media person in your organization, get one. Maybe you're not the social media person. Maybe you don't like being on social media, but that shouldn't be where it ends. You should get someone, a volunteer or someone who can do that for your organization to make sure that you have a presence. So when you're asking for donations, people are not saying, well, why would I donate? I don't even know what y'all do. I don't even know who you are, right? So you have to make sure that you have an online presence. And last but not least, all these donors that you have that are supporting you, whether they're doing a one donation or they're becoming a friend of your organization and are, making recurring donations, what you want to do is make sure that you nurture that relationship. And what do I mean by that? You want to keep in communication. You want to let them know. You want to tag them on the things that, are happening so that way they can see, hey, this is where your money went. Hey, this is what's going on. If you have a monthly newsletter, make sure you get their email so that way you can send it out and communicating. And you should periodically be contacting them directly to thank them for being a supporter of your nonprofit. When you have a donor that gives you money, you should be sending out a thank you letter immediately. Immediately, you should be sending out a thank you letter thanking them for what they did for your organization. So you should be in constant communication, inviting them to come to your events, asking them to come. Hey, come and see who you're supporting. Come and meet the faces, talk to the people that you are making a difference in their life. That speaks volumes to a donor, because once they become connected to your mission, once they feel like they are a part of the change that you're looking to make, the impact that you're looking to make, it's very difficult for them not to make another donation or for them to become a friend of your organization, where they're giving recurring donations. Or a corporation is going to think twice, like, why wouldn't we? It shouldn't be, should we? It should become a situation where, why wouldn't we give money to this organization? Why would we not partner with this nonprofit organization to keep their program sustainable, because we can see the impact that it's making? So you need to communicate and nurture these relationships. Invite them as much as you can. Thank them as much as you can. And as I mentioned before, that online presence, make sure you ask them to follow you on your social media, accounts. Why? So that way they can see what you're doing on a regular basis. So those are the 5 strategies to really keep, to create a sustainable fundraising strategy. So 1, diversifying your funds, making sure that, you're not just looking for grants and nothing else. You want to make sure that you're diversifying and doing fundraisers and different things. The other one is make sure that you have a clear message about what it is that you do, who it is that you help. Articulate that. Make sure that you have a crystal clear picture so that way people can resonate and connect and get in where they fit in. Number 3, you want to now invite them to become friends of your organization and have them do recurring donations, so you have sustainable money coming in, like making money in your sleep, so to speak, right? Number 4, utilizing social media or any type of online platform, YouTube, anything else, to get your mission out there for people to be able to support and see you in real time. And last but not least, nurture those relationships, create, a real bond with your donors, so that way they'll think twice about giving to another organization, because again, their thought process is not going to be, should I? It's going to be, why wouldn't I? So I hope that you found today's information beneficial. If you see that there are areas of improvement of how you're doing it, or if you're not doing any of these things, then here is a great start for you to be able to get your nonprofit on the right track to being able to sustain its programs and services that you're looking to be able to support the cause that it is that you want to eradicate, fix, or expand, increase, whatever it is that you're looking to do. This is a way to do it. Without funding, a nonprofit just does not exist. We don't sell products. We don't sell sneakers. We don't sell perfumes where people get something tangible. It's the impact that people want to see. So let them see it. Let them see it. Let them experience it. And this is a way for you to be able to get that funding. So if you found this beneficial and you would like to get some more, I do one-on-one coaching and consulting, not only with the founders, but I also work with your team and making sure that your team is on board. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my God, my board should have heard this, my volunteers should have heard this, or my fundraising committee should have heard this, you reach out to me at on my website at utopianenterprisebiz.com. And you'll be able to reach out to me, contact me, and we can set up a consultation and customize what it is that you're looking for your team. And I can come out to you, or we could even do it virtual if you're not, nearby. We could even do a virtual training for you or for your team, if not both. So again, I hope you found this beneficial. If you're just tuning in and you missed what we said and you're on Facebook, you can hit the replay and watch it live. Well, not live, but you can watch the replay, or you can go to our YouTube channel under my name, Asia, Asiya, Nasir, Nasir, and you can watch it on YouTube. And what I would suggest highly is that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell. So anytime we come out with new content, you will not miss it. I hope you have a great day. Make it impactful, make it productive, and make sure that you make a difference in somebody's life.